Cairo is my baby's home. Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you around and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Cairo, babe. Cairo, babe. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
Cairo Blues always puts me in a good mood. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Nice to have you here. Hello, Geir, the first and most faithful Norwegian attack, but here we go. G. Albert, great to see you again. Ooh, now you're taking in. Nice to see you here. Talking about gear, talking about some lighting this afternoon on our mutual great network called Just Create More. Yeah, so that's what it is around here. So what are we going to do today? Today's live stream's got a theme of how to recognize chords in a song that we're listening to. We don't have any video. We can just listen to a song. Let's say no YouTube, no music chart, nothing. You're just listening to something. So in order to make you feel like I felt when I was younger, and maybe you do that as well, I don't know, but when I was young and tried to learn songs from recordings, I bought these LP records, and when the cassette tapes came along, I kind of recorded all the LPs to the cassette tapes so that I could rewind for 1,000 times and listen to the licks and grooves and grips and trying to recognize where the hell is this playing in. So one thing I had quite okay with was this sheer fact of, okay, I either had a piano in some house where I was maybe sitting and doing this, or I had my tuning fork, which will give you a note of A. So somehow I could relate to the key of the song, to the tuning fork, or the note on the piano. So let's say if I would find something was in E, then I would try to find that note on the guitar. But then when you're a total beginner, you don't even know how to tune the guitar. So we're going to jump over that stage. So let's say we assume we know how to tune the guitar. We know a couple of main chords like C, G, D, F, A, B7, usual stuff. When you play some, I don't know, singer-songwriter stuff, maybe we're playing some Beatles songs, some Rolling Stones, or whatever comes to your liking. And but then there comes a new song, and today I was listening to music while I was walking down the streets, just having some rest, and I just put this on random, and all of a sudden this song came that I used to listen to a lot, and I used to play it with different bands. And I used to back up singers who wanted to sing this song. It's called How Can a Poor Man Stand Such Times and Live? And I don't know who wrote it. You can find that out on online and just search for it. But the first version I've heard was with Flaco Jimenez and Ry Cooder and the Big Bang in the 70s. Later on, I've heard some other artists do the song. Even Bruce Springsteen recorded this. So, and it's a great, great song. But the beauty of this song, and why I thought of, wow, I could do a live stream about that, or at least around this song, and show some basic correlations between chords and shapes and different grooves on the guitar and how to treat basses and all that. So that came along, and I thought, okay, those chords in this song are rich. There are major chords, big minor chords, a lot of nice basses, but in between there are some very nice voicings. They're not so usual. So I'll show you the song first in standard tuning and then in open G tuning. And when I just did a short research before the live stream, because I didn't want to listen too much or watch too much to it, but I just wanted to make sure that I was on the right pitch. And that's right. Ry Cooder played this song live. There's a YouTube video on it in open G on his electric guitar, Stratocaster, and it was an open G. So we are in G, and I'll show you a little bit later on. Right now, we got some backup to do. So grab a guitar and okay. Now something new came up here. Woody Guthrie. I never would have thought he did this song. Great. Thank you, Milaman. And welcome to the live stream, of course. J. Albert. Oh yeah, of course I did. Man, I put those things apart, and I could wind them back when the tape gets scrambled in the tape recorder. I really worn them out. Oh, you wouldn't imagine. First, I used to buy 2 LPs if I could afford it. If I really loved an LP, I would have bought 2 copies. One was to have on a shelf, and the other one to worn out and to listen to. And you're going back with your needle and, oh, how was this, how was that? And yeah, I wore them out. But the tape really saved us. That came in the right moment. Yeah, you used to splice cassettes back when I used to work in a recording studio. I never got a chance to do the 2-inch Sony reel-to-reel. Oh no, okay. I actually did my first recordings for this radio station on the big 2-inch Studa large console tape recorder, and that thing sounded a lot. So they had it in another room from where we were recording, of course, because otherwise it would just melt in. And it was great Great studio. Great recordings. But I wasn't playing too well. I was too young. All right. Thanks. Arnold Roth. That's right. Good. So I got some nice level to reach to when I try to show you the chords in this song. But okay, let's get back and do the... Oh, I missed Patrick. Right, you sneaked in as well. Welcome. Greetings to you as well. All right, so let's go to the blues backup. Grab a guitar. We're in standard tuning. We will always start in standard tuning. The next song, the next backup is going to be in open D. And a bit different groove. All right, let me just move the guitar mics a little bit closer to me. I think it's going to be better. So... all right. Just realized this. Sorry, everybody. All right, everything was as I used to play earlier, except for that I simply forgot to unmute these two guitar mics, and I thought the guitar sounds a little bit thin. I thought maybe I have a lower volume in my earphones. So 39 live streams and you still learn stuff. That's cool. Sorry about that. Anyway, just realized that I played the whole welcome song with this microphone up above me, so the guitar wasn't really sounding well, but that was it. So I threw in one new lick, or first a variation of this, right, and then you go to the 7th. So I kind of like to come to this E note high up on the 12th fret and then actually reach the chord of E. The 4th chord in this blues, 12-bar blues. That was the first one. Then the next one, before I switched to A again, then I had this lick on the 7th fret. So basically it's the same grip as that you would take when you play the intro lick or the turnaround in between two choruses in the blues, like a, right? So it's I go from the 7th fret and I did this. And this is not really uniquely mine. I think I stole this from, let me see, Robert Lockwood Jr., the stepson of the great Robert Johnson. So I think he had a song that started something like this. That's right. Come on, take a little walk with me. That's right. So it was his version of Sweet Home Chicago Blues by his stepfather. So that's right. And that was his intro. So what I did as I was evolving and you know, learning how to play. So I kind of listened to that, and then I just threw in that intro lick that he made in the middle of the song. Let's say I did like this. And then I changed to A. So this can be varied in many ways. So I kind of don't play the same each time. So, but one of the preferred ways is this. Something like that. Sometimes or slowly. The most important part in all these grooves is just to keep the steady bass. So that was that. Okay, let's change the guitars. We're going to open. And just like the last time, I came up with some of the grooves that I know some of you guys liked very much. I'm going to do the same now. I don't really know what I want to play, but I'll just start playing it and we'll see what kind of groove we end up with. I just want to say hi to Phil Thorne, my old buddy from the Blues Week. Great to see you. How can a poor man? Blind Alfred Reed. Thank you. Now we got several suggestions of for who wrote this song, but hey man, there's lots of info about that. Blind Alfred. Okay, so we got 2 votes for Blind Alfred, both Patrick and Phil. That's great. I'm always in the open G and open D phase. I'll have to say that I mostly fiddle in open G. If I have 2 guitars side by side and one is open G, one is open D, in 95% of all cases, I grab the open G one, because I used to play an open D so much, especially when I was performing live like 2 or 3 times a week, when I was only playing and not doing anything else. Yeah, I used to play a lot in D, and those were the songs that I knew were, you know, showstoppers, a lot of shuffles. I don't know. I just kind of I killed it by playing it too much for some time. But then again, my best instrumentals, as I can think of, are composed in open D. So yeah, I kind of love both tunings, of course. But all right, let's see. Let's switch. Yeah, something like that. So this is actually how I usually fool around the house, and I just like, you know, feel like I'm playing, I want to play, and just go and just grab any groove that comes to mind, and I tried to replicate this here And I have to admit, I got carried away because this is live. You know, it's not like I'm just sitting at home and chilling. So this was a little bit more, oh, tension, but it was great. I liked it. So I even used a lick that I definitely haven't shown you before, but that's something of these wonderful hammer-ons and open strings that you have in open D, and there are, in this lick, there are more strings than in open G. So when I come to the chord of A and this, and then I would go to G, and then go back. So in that G chord, one of the changes, what I did was this. So I did like this. So there's a those two notes are like a hammer-on, open 4th string, and then I do the hammer on the 1st fret on the 3rd string. So first and second string just open, and then I grab this 7th. So and this here, so it's this is actually the sounds like an A chord, but it's not, because I play this note on the 5th string on the 3rd fret, which would be D, C sharp, C. So it's basically a C chord, and then G again, and then D. So it's, and this is also one of the things that I used to tell you about, that the more control you have of your picking hand, that you know exactly which string you want to play, the more diverse you'll be able to play the grooves, the accompaniment, chords of a song, even a solo. These things can even be a solo. Let's say I would play that anytime as a solo. So all right, I'll show you. So we go from A. So it's, this will be just the A7 shape. But then we have this bending on the 2nd string and 3rd fret. And I play this kind of slightly dissonant note, and then I go to this. But then I double that note with a 3rd here. So, one more time. And then I think a Roy Rogers lick. So when you grab the 3rd string on the 1st fret and you play the open 1st string, and then just the 3rd fret on the 4th string, then you get this note, D note drone like a. And then for me, quite a natural way to go on the basses. So this is what I really love about open D, because there are so many open, nicely ringing D or A notes that you can double there, and it's just amazing. And let's say this form of the D chord. So it's, you play all 6 strings, but here you have the 3rd string on the 3rd fret and the 5th string on the 5th fret, like a 5-3, 5-3. That's all you need to remember. So that there are. And this is so special because there are only octaves and you don't have any thirds. And the third would be, right? also a beautiful chord, but it's not what I wanted right here. And that goes very nicely with it. And then when you grab the we stayed here much too long, but we can do a live stream on just explorations of open D tuning and maybe another one on open G by just sitting and I might improvise and just play whatever comes to mind. All right. Yeah, of course. Okay, let's go in turns. Yeah, thank you, man. I've been playing blues since I was like 18, 19, and I still can't play it. It's just... Patrick says some Ry Cooder spicing it out. Of course, man. I'm heavily influenced. I mean, I think I have Ry Cooder's playing tattooed in my soul, just because he's so deep and one of those artists you can really listen to absolutely anytime, and he always makes new stuff. Even if he plays songs that he's played for ages, he would still play them different ways live. Sometimes he changes the chord shape, sometimes he even changes the tuning, sometimes definitely the groove. And I mean, I don't know how many different versions of Crazy About an Automobile you could hear, and it's just, he's so versatile and so creative. And I love his singing as well. A lot of people are just kind of, glazed into his light playing and arrangements and everything. Just listen to his record called Jazz from 1972, I think. That is just a bible of how to play jazzy, swingy arrangements rooted in blues and early jazz. It was just a fantastic record. Yeah. Have you seen the vigilante man? Have you seen the vigilante man? Yeah, of course, yeah. That's a great song. G. Albert, I don't play violin. No way. I think that would be my 16th instrument to play if I could just choose from guitar, piano, accordion, and so on. I would even love to play a cello, but no, not violin. That's not for me. Thank you kindly, sir. I really enjoy that. All right, G. Albert has got another question. Do you also have a 12-string? Okay. I might do this in another live stream just to show you all my guitars, which sounds like, whoa, all my guitars. I'm not a collector. I think I have 6 or 7 of these Sandon Swedish handmade guitars of different shapes, and one of them is living with my daughter. The guitar moved in, and all of a sudden it's there all the time, but that's her main performing guitar, so that's it. And then I have one Gibson SG, just a classical model, black with 2 humbuckers, and I also have 2 12-string guitars. One is Epiphone that's totally beaten up, and I need to fix it. I got it as a present from a friend who just didn't have the time to fix it, and then I don't have the time to fix it either. So it's been lying there in a box in my cellar, just waiting for me to get some time to do it. But I used to play a Sigma 12-string guitar that I really used heavily in the 90s and beginning of 2000s. That was a beast, and that's still a good guitar. Yeah. One thing with my 12-string guitar playing was that I always double the first 4 strings, so I don't usually on a 12-string guitar you have the doubled first and second, and then the third string, the G string, is accompanied by a high-pitched octave higher G string. And I never liked that ringing sound. So I doubled the first, second, the third, and then the fourth string. I thought, okay, when I play this finger picking on the 12-string guitar, it doesn't really sound like I wanted to hear in my ears. So I doubled that as well. So the only accompanying octave strings are on my 5th and 6th string. And then I go on the regular guitar, I tune it down to maybe C, sometimes B, but that's not really a baritone guitar like my real baritone here. So, okay, G. Albert, I promise, I'll do a presentation of my guitars. I used to collect instruments, Tech Troublemaker. I had planned to actually learn them all, but I seem to prefer collecting to practicing. Yeah, that's a quite well-known syndrome. When you have so many, there's like, oh, which one should I play? Which one should I play? That's maybe why I usually just have 3 guitars lying around here. That's my open G guitar, which I'm actually gonna grab now because it's time to go to the theme for today. So let's do that. Nope, I was lying. We need to start with standard tuning. And the reason why I'm doing this is, let's go back to this view. And the reason why I do this is because I want to give you the sound of these chords in both standard and open tuning, and present some voicings around when it comes to this song. So, how can a poor man stand such times and live? And why don't I just play it in Apple Music or Spotify or something? Because of the copyright strikes and claims that I've got on several of my live streams, and one of them was even taken down because of playing Alley Cat Boogie, a song from 1936 or 38, as an intro song. But at the same time, I have this other song that I always play, the Cairo Blues, and that's a song from, I think, 80s, recorded in the early 80s, so that would more probably have to, have some copyright owners, but nobody reacted on that song. But this Alley Cat Boogie, there's a company protecting those rights, and they just, deactivated my video. So what I did is I just cut out that first part, and now the video is live again. And it was a pity because that's when I interviewed my good friend Bert Divert, the great mandolin and guitar player who lives in Sweden. He's originally from the States. He came to Sweden in the 70s, right? So, I'm gonna play this chord. Now try to find which chord was that. Of course, I told you what the song was going in which key or whatever, but okay, let's stop pretending. Let's stop playing. Let's get playing. So it's a G chord, right? So, and then the second chord is going to be the D, G again. They go back to G, and they go back to D. But then again, we go to A, and then D. We're going to have a G, G7, to C, A minor, and then G, to D, G, one more time to C, so those are the chords in the song. It goes, let's say, the verse that says, well, the doctor comes around with his face all bright, and he says, in a little while, Ooh, you will be alright. A, D. All this gives you is a humble pill, a dose of dope, and a great big bill. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live? So this is the chord shapes and chords played in the first verse, where the, let's say, the band, I'm referring to Ry Cooder's version. They just play it very plain, very honest, just big major chords, and without any kind of jewelry when it comes to the licks in between chords. One of these nice licks in between is this, which is played here, or the other way around. And these licks are actually parts of the C chord, but I only pick the second, third, and the fourth string. Same grip, but now on the fourth fret here on the fourth string, and the third fret on the second string, and the open drone G note, and back to G. So that's one way to fool around while you're in G. Or, oh sorry. So that's what we're going to be using in open G. So let's stay here. So when it comes to when a doctor comes around, instead of just playing the plain D chord, which is nice for the first time in the first verse maybe, but when you play the second verse, maybe you can play the D chord somewhere up here. So this is a D7 on the 5th fret here, compared to C7, which is here. Just move it 2 frets up and you got a D7. But then I would prefer to play the big bass, the bass of A, within a D chord. So it would sound like this. When the doctor comes around with his face all bright, right? So I'm kind of making this distinction between bass and treble strings, and I don't play them all at the same time. It would be a different thing to maybe just choose to play the brushing chords like a doctor comes around and his face all bright. This could be a guitar part in case that I would maybe be a third guitar player in the band. Lead guitar player just making those main, like Ry Cooder licks, and then somebody else doing a bit more distinct backup, just play maybe this chord. Right, so there's no need for the third guitar player to do the same thing. It will be too much of the notes, maybe correctly played, but they're all in the same frequency. That's what's nice when you have a couple of guitars, and then you can almost judge the quality of the backup and the arrangement in which frequency ranges the instruments are ending up when they play. Try to analyze that next time when you listen to something, because it can give some great ideas for arrangements. So anyway, that would be the D back. That's and it says, in a little while you'll be alright. Right, so I went to the D sharp, but then I have this A. So why do I play this shape? Because if I would just play, you'll be alright. Just a second. You'll be alright. Sorry, I was in the wrong place on the song. So and again. And it says in a little while, you'll be alright. Right? With that D chord here, I don't have any bass. It's like a maybe the F sharp note on the bass up here. If I would like, I follow the rules, oh, you have to have the bass in the chord. No, maybe I would just leave it out and then go with the big bass on the G when I come back to the next part of the song. So like a, and now, you see that G note sounds like big boomy bassy after I've just played maybe these songs, these strings. And this is a D because you have, let's say if you would play the D chord here. Sorry. I never play D chord like this, but I choose to just grab those shapes that I can reach like this, so that's fine. So, and then it goes like a, and all he gives you is a humbug pill. This is one shape of the G7, but there's another one with a bass, which for me sounds a little bit nicer, and it's here with a note of F on the 4th string, 3rd fret. And then I would go to C. Tell me how can a poor man stand such times are. So in the second verse, they would go into repeating this last phrase. How can a poor man stand such times I live? So this would be a kind of a attempt to play a piece of a melody right here. But this is exactly where I would definitely choose to, this is really nice. Great that I know these chords, but it really sounds richer and nicer in open G. Plus that we get this, wow, maybe I could play some slide with this. So let's do that. And as you might have noticed, this song definitely, or my song voice, my voice doesn't really fit into this key of the song in G. I would never sing this high pitch for me. Like. So now we're open G. So the advantage of open G compared to standard tuning, it's this, that you can have the drone bass going all the time. So, and of course you get this beefy D, note of D in the basses, because the chord changes here are very dependent on changing from the key, the main chord G, and the D, which is the 5th, right? So it's like a, so you have these bass runs which are very close, and they can be easily played while we're grabbing other chord shapes or licks on the treble strings. So let's go from, and then we play the same thing, and it's the same as in the standard tuning, because in G open and the standard tuning, the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th strings are just the same as in both tunings. So that's how we got that. So what we're winning with the open G is this high G note up here. This is a lot of nice frequency range, and you have this open strings always ring longer, better, somehow deeper, than fretted notes. So the G note, no matter how nice guitar you've got, it's never going to sound like a G note when you tune down the A string to G and just let it ring like that. And it's breathing, the guitar top is breathing with that note there. So let me show you some of the chord shapes of G, C, and D, and A minor for that matter, because those chords were played in the song. So the G can be played like just all strings open. Then you can have this. Then you have this. It's compared to I'm adding these from the regular shape of G, let's say in the bare chord here on the 3rd fret. So I'm just keeping the 2nd string on the 3rd fret, 4th string, 3rd fret, 3rd string on the 4th fret, and the 5th fret of the 4th string. So even playing that with an open 1st string would sound nice. Oh, sorry. Definitely use this in a song because it sounds nice, ringy, and all that. So that's the first 2 grips, like this, and then this, right? And then you can also do the droning G chord like this, just like we had in open D, without the 3rd of that chord. And that will be enough for the G chord. And then the D chord is, the D7 is here. It's just like a D7 in the standard tuning. It's just that we move the fingers, so we keep the 2nd string on the 1st fret with the index finger, and then we have the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then we grab this A note on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then you got this big boomy D7. But if you change this into this, this would be also this kind of droned D chord without a 3rd, also very nice sounding. But look, if we just skip playing the 5th string, forget it and just think, okay, now we only have the 6th string and the 4th string with their D notes, but then we just move the whole D chord here. So you got this very majory, and then to go. So let's say I would use it. Well, a doctor comes around with his face all brown, and he says, right? That 2nd shape. In a little while, you'll be all right. And it gives you a hummer pill. C, but I forgot one thing, the A chord, sorry. So either just fretting all the strings on the 2nd fret, but also a nice A7th chord like this when you have the open G note on the 3rd string, and the note G is the 7th in A chord, which sounds great together like this, right? And then if you play the 1st string open, it's kind of a 9th somewhere there. It sounds really great. So one way to go from G to C, or to move with this bass, is I showed you some of the stuff in the Statesboro Blues, where I have this kind of intro. And so on. So in the theme song for today, so I would use this shape. I'll move on. And it says, In a while, you'll be alright. All it gives you is a humbug pill, a dose of dope, and a great big bill. Oh, sorry. I need to retune my head for the open tuning. Sorry. So this, the A minor would be here. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times as live? Just tell me how a poor man stand such times as live. Oh, sorry. Oh man, this was a long time ago. I knew I was gonna screw it up, but there somewhere, right, with these slide melody changes and all that. And at one point I played all the chords with slide, so it's kind of this is a stretch from the 7th fret to the 2nd fret, and to make that slide sound nice and that you don't get the string buzz and all that. This guitar does have a little bit higher action than a regular guitar, but still this is a very heavy slide, so I just need to make sure that it's you know, steadily on the strings, and then you can really glide it from the 2nd fret to so this is a nice 7th, a shape of a 7th chord in G. And this chord here is actually, let's count, G, F sharp, F, E. So what would that be? D sharp, and then you get a G, and then D. Do, 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 do. This chord, I use it also in some shuffles, like and so on. So that's also a nice chord, instead of playing the A minor, which is here. Oh, this is also nice. Okay, so it goes like a actually the melody line is going from open 2nd string. So we're going to the 4th chord with the 3rds of the basses. Everything is ringing nicely, and then I just meet it with a nice slide on the 5th fret. And maybe I would avoid to play the first 3, because that I'll save for a melody line, but when it comes to chords only, then I would just stay on the 2nd string. And then I got this. Right? So it's, I keep the strings fretted on the 5th fret, sorry. Then the slide goes on the 7th fret. I just take it off, and then pick the 5th fret. So, and just open strings a little bit smoothly all together. Okay, I changed again. Okay, so it's 7th fret, 5th, and then I play the first 2 string, then the second and the 3rd, and then open string. So you got this. This can also be played with a slide. So and then open strings. So everything else is played with slide. The beauty can be there when you just pick once with your picking hand and you move the slide. Not really. So this is also nice with open tunings, that you can leave the basses ringing while you're playing the melody, which is actually quite easy because you just pick that bass note, just make sure you don't damp it somewhere, and then you fool around with the rest of the melody, like a So I just meet this last note with a bass of G. In the meantime, I would just have this big D bass. And then. Yeah. Good. So guys, that was a lot to melt and to show here in this absolutely beautiful song. And I kind of wish I'd practiced a little bit more, but it's been a long time. I played it live. It was in a band setting many years ago. And yeah. So let's see what you guys were saying. Albert, you're like, gee, troublemaker, tech troublemaker, are you dreaming again? Yeah. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah, I dream a lot, but that was real. I slowly gave them all away. Oh, except for my 2 guitars, which I still failed to play. Oh, come on. Tell us which guitars you got left. That'd be interesting here. Yeah, man, I don't know what I would do if I had to, or I had to give them away, or get rid of them. If I had economic troubles or something like that, I wouldn't hesitate a second to sell anything, because life is most important. You will get another instrument, that's okay. But if I can find another means of just surviving and living, that would hurt. Thank you, G. Albert. I guess you're referring to these, and then moving and that can go all the way to the 12th fret, like a scale, like and then if you follow that with a 2nd string. this would be a G chord in the shape chord of C in the standard tuning. But let's not get caught in that. But just this little, that's beautiful. I really love combining the big basses with open strings and some fretted notes up the neck. So you got this. So this, that can also be moved all the way up. But sorry. And I had this in one of the songs that I used to play. Yeah, that's a nice lick as well. Yeah, nice moving chords. That's great. Thank you so much. I really loved yeah. This was a very, very much improvised, like a blues live stream today. I really didn't know what I'm going to play, and some things turned out quite nicely. I'll sleep well tonight. It's going to be fine. Quick hour, exactly. It just went whoa. And tomorrow I'm flying to London to meet my my kids on the same occasion, and we're gonna celebrate my daughter's examination. And just as we did with my sons here in Sweden, that's a nice tradition. So we're gonna spend a couple of days over there. But I will be back next week. And on December 12th, please keep this in mind. On December 12th is going to be announced a very, very, very special live stream, which is going to be not about this guitar, because I'm trying to move to go to this page. So I'm going to have a very, very special guest, somebody that I really like as a human being, as a content creator, and also as a musician. So we're going to have some nice topics to talk about. This hour went fast. I'll return to it tomorrow. Would that be back to the future of my own playing? Well, I'd love to jam on that with you if you come to the retreat this year. All right, guys, that's going to be the last thing for today. Just a little announcement, which I will repeat until next summer. So my guitar retreat is definitely booked. I've got those dates in this cottage village. It's a nice facility where we're staying, and they confirmed the dates of 21st to 23rd July of 2023. So I'll be doing that this coming summer. Whoa, thank you, Patrick. So it seems like maybe I should improvise more. Yeah, what do you say about that? Yeah, but anyway, thanks guys, thanks so much for coming, and have a great week, and I will see you on next Monday if you have time and energy to come and follow me in my endeavors about blues and slide guitar. Thanks so much, and you have a great time. Bye.
And it was in spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, Lord, she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. It called me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need your soul. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. peaches. Don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard. Let my peaches be. Now she's gone. I don't worry. But I'm sitting on top of the world. Spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me. Now she went away. Now she's gone. I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone. I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top